Hey, this is Sean from Blame My Youth, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
What's up, guys? Rob here at Front Row Live Entertainment. I am finally hanging out with Sean from Blame My Youth. Dude, I'm still recovering from when you first dropped Fantastic in 2020.
Oh, boy. Oh, baby.
And my immediate reaction was like, what the is this? This is awesome.
Mine too, and everybody that knew me. They're like, dude, you screaming? What's going on? Why, are you angry? I'm like,
I loved everything about that song and that video. Now that you have this new single, Tokyo Rose, it's kind of a departure from what I'm used to listening to.
Oh yeah,
so
me too.
What has that been like, departing from that kind of sound? Maybe it's just like a one-off. Maybe it's not. But
no, you know what? What I used to like when we started the band, I saw two movies: Trainspotting and Big Lebowski. And like the next day, I wrote Fantastic. I'm like, all right, I got it's Big Lebowski rock with a little like Trainspotting hue.
Yeah.
And then when Joey and the producer and I started writing, like we accidentally started writing. We wrote that song, The Break, first, and then Running, and then Tokyo Rose. And we noticed I'm not really screaming on any of that.
Yeah.
So we were in the studio one day. I'm like, man, this is kind of like beer in a wine glass. And that hit me. I'm like, oh, it's like we clean up well. It's still like, you still get you drunk. But yeah, beer in a wine glass is kind of like just a little refined, little finesse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How different was it for you going into the studio and recording vocals that are not screaming, that you're not like giving your grit out?
It's like I just became an artist like 6 months ago. Like I'm just used to yelling at people. And I mean,
Why are you so angry, man?
I don't know what it is. It's a happy anger, but I used to like the old band Empires. It was a little more croony, and then I started this band in 2020. So I guess I had that kind of angst. And that felt so natural. Like screaming is like easy on the mic for me. Singing is like, just ask my producers. Not as easy for me. It's like it's a completely different thing, and it's like laid back and still trying to find like your grit and still trying to like reach people the same way, like the same instant way you can do when you're yelling. Doing that with like a laid back vocal is completely challenging, but it scares the heck out of me.
Well, yeah, I feel like controlling that vocal is very scary.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty wild.
Well, the fact that Joey's been around since the beginning, still here, how has he kind of helped you kind of step out of that comfort zone at the same time, but at the same time pull you in to feel comfortable while you're doing it?
Man, it's like study sessions when we're recording, like The Break, like listening to stuff, listening to pop stuff from like Prince to Harry Styles, just like listening to it and being like, yo, where do they pin these melodies and how do they do it and how do they land? Like just study this and kind of listen to it, even if it's not something you listen to.
Right.
Listen to like more of the pop music and it's like study sessions. He's basically like a coach and a teacher, and he's like, "You're okay. Step out. Step out of the booth. You're ruining the song. Listen to this.
Let me sing the song."
Well, sometimes he's like, listen to this. And then the thing is, it's crazy. It's like learning anything that is challenging at first. Once we started breaking through on that song, The Break, no pun intended. We started breaking through on that, and then we're like, oh, you do have this in you. And he's like, dude, let's do way more of this. I'm like, I love it because I love listening to it.
Yeah.
I love listening to like the stuff like We're on Drugs, Tom Petty, like laid back. I was calling it John Mayer. Now listening back, I'm like, it's not John Mayer. You know how it's crazy in your head? You like hear it as something.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like, I mean, the songs are speaking for themselves. I'm not having to yell the hook, like being like, yo, listen to me.
Right.
So.
And your wordplay is incredible as well. Over the years, it just keeps getting better and better. With this song in particular, Tokyo Rose, like how was that writing process for you, and like how different was it?
That was the craziest writing process of my life. I was in the studio with Joey, and we had like lots of songs to track. Like we had drums tracked, and I went in there to actually sing some. And we were just like taking a break. He's sitting on his couch, laid back, and he starts like laughing. He's like, "Oh my God, dude, you gotta check this out." And he shows me this, like he found on Instagram or TikTok, this band the singer was eating a bowl of ramen, and the band was playing this like 50s kind of punk rock, like rockabilly kind of sound. And then he takes the bowl of ramen and he passes it off to his guitar player, who starts eating it. And then this dude screams something into the mic, and it was like we're both like, what is this? And it was this wormhole of like rockabilly that's taking place in Japan.
Yeah.
And like from like Little Richard, Chuck Berry, but like Ramones also, like punk rock. And it's like a whole scene. So we spent like an hour just like, oh my God, check this out. Like he like sent me the link, and I was just like down there, and we both discovered Johnny Pandora. Johnny Diego, I think is his name, but his band is Johnny Pandora. and he's basically like a crazy like 50s Little Richard style dancer.
Damn.
And he plays like what he calls samurai rock and roll. And we're watching this guy dance, and like, oh my, this is like the coolest dude we've ever seen in our lives. Like, it was wild. And like, I started playing guitar. Like, he's like got this up and we're watching. I just started playing this like dank, 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 this kind of riff I would never, ever, ever play. But like, we were both laughing and we were just like having a blast. And then I started doing these melodies, and before we know it, we're like, dude, what if we just write this song about this? He's like, this guy's awesome. He steals your girl, like something dumb like that.
Yeah.
And then it sort of morphed, and we were just going line by line by line. And then while we were writing, we wrote the chorus, and then we started writing the verse. And he looks at me, he's like, dude, we should go to Tokyo to film this. I'm like, yeah, send me to Tokyo for this. Let's go. So we started like imagining like, yo, what if this guy, or what if this, you know, you got out of a relationship with somebody and she goes on this journey to Tokyo to kind of just get away, just to like, you know, just to get away from it all. And then she meets Johnny at the Top Beat Club, which, by the way, Top Beat Club was like the place where all these people were performing.
Yeah, that's the club.
It's the club, man. It's new too. I thought it's been around forever, but it's been around for a year, and it's like the center of this like kind of newish. I mean, I think the Japanese rockabilly scene's been going strong for a long time, but it's being reinvented by like a lot of young people, and it's taking place at that club. So we even name dropped the club in the song. We're like, okay, so this girl gets out of a relationship, goes a little travel vlog style, goes to Tokyo, finds a Top Beat Club. Johnny's working there. It's a record shop and a coffee shop all in one. And then he's like, I got you. Follow me. They go downstairs, and there's a band we're playing. Yeah. I'm actually fronting Johnny Pandora, Johnny's band. And then they start dancing. She kind of like just starts healing, getting over her last relationship with Johnny, and it's just a good time feel of getting over somebody. And it was wild because we wrote the concept for the video and the song all at once, like lightning.
Damn.
And we've never done that before. So we're like, and then I left the session that day. I'm like, there's no way they're sending me to Tokyo for this. And then a few months later, I'm in Tokyo with Johnny in the park watching him and his crew dance. I'm like, it's on.
That's wild. It's crazy how things happen now. Like whether it's a song just channeling itself, trying to be created and be out there, or an opportunity like this where it's like, I'm going to Tokyo to shoot my next video.
It was so meant to happen. Like, this thing wrote itself. Like, we just got out of the way, and we're like, when we were writing it, I'm like, this can't possibly be Blame My Youth. Like, I'm not yelling. I mean, I know that like the break and the running were like less yelly too, and just like more song focused. But this one, I'm like, this is such a departure, but it was so inspired. There's no way to deny that it is a Blame My Youth song, especially when I got on the mic and started singing, and it's just like a different version. Yeah. You know, beer in a sake glass or something. I don't know. But
do you feel that this sound can maybe stick around for a little longer with Blame My Youth? Or
we keep exploring. Like I actually, I'll play that song on guitar and feel very, very good about it. Just because like it feels easy to sing, and I kind of feel like 20% Sinatra when I'm singing it, and I like that. I like
Sinatra mixed with a little bit of the Strokes. I get this like Strokes vibe when I'm listening to it at the same time.
That was what we started. We started with when the dank, like Strokes, kind of like Velvet Underground Strokes. There we go. And then when I start crooning, I'm like, man, I'm just getting to my like Sinatra bag. I can do this.
Like, this is not the same guy. It can't be the same guy.
But dude, this guy's just crazy, man. I don't know what I'm doing next. But yeah, no, it just felt good. We're just following song by song. Yeah. And like that, like I said, if the inspiration is like real, there's no way to deny we have to do that. And what's funny is that when we started the band, Joey and I kept saying we're going international.
There you go.
That was like what we wanted to do. And like then like we our first tour was in the UK, and like, oh my God, it's kind of happening. And then we go to Tokyo for a video, and then we have another song called Olé, which wasn't like intentional, but like it's like Olé, it's a heartbreak song. I'm dodging that pain like Olé, and it's one of my favorites, and it's the one after Tokyo Rose. And I'm like, do we need to go to do a video in like Brazil or Mexico City? Like, and I said that to my manager. He's like, write the treatment. I'm like, I got to call Joey because that's my guy.
Something, man. You're onto something.
Yeah. It's wild.
What did you learn from experiencing this video shoot there in Japan, like, or in Tokyo? Like, did it kind of inspire you in a different way of writing, especially hanging out with Johnny and watching his band? Just because like when you listen to Japanese music, they beat around the bush, right? Like when they're talking about something, as opposed to us, like we're more direct with what our intentions are. So did you kind of feel that or sense that when you were watching that or experiencing that there?
Man, all I know, like the attention to detail, like it's crazy with the rockabilly scene. Like I mean, I asked Johnny, I'm like, man, because they do their hair up like it's like I forget the word, pompadour.
Yeah, the pompadour, right?
Pompadour, right? They all like they have the look, and it's not like a dress up. Like I asked Johnny, I'm like, how long does it take you a day? He's like, it takes them like 30 minutes to an hour to do it. All of them, they're like, oh, it takes me 20 minutes. One guy's really quick.
A lot of commitment.
And I'm like, man, that's wild. I'm like, every day he goes, it's my lifestyle. And I'm like, the attention to detail and the commitment to that lifestyle and to that sound is super inspiring. I can't say I have the same commitment to sound, but like I just appreciate that. It was so inspiring. Tokyo in general is probably the most inspiring place I've ever been.
Yeah.
I know I just got back from there, but I mean, it's clean. There's no trash cans anywhere. People are respectful. They're carrying around their trash. They're not throwing it on the streets. They're smoking in certain areas. They're smoking and ashing in these little bags.
Wow.
It's like such a respectful place.
It's a clean city from what I hear.
For 14 million or I don't even, I'm just throwing that number out there for as many people as they have. It's like, I don't know. They really have it. It's just, it's inspiring across the board.
Yeah.
And the food and everything. But yeah, I'm inspired. I'd love to, like, maybe we should write Tokyo Rose Part 2 or what we were saying, Tokyo
Vice.
Tokyo Vice.
Yeah,
based on the show.
Based on the show.
I'd go back.
Let's go.
Let's see how this one does.
I might join you on this one.
Yeah, if this one does even kind of good, I'm going to do that again. But
see, there you go.
I would love to go back and play Top Beat Club and play shows there. And Johnny's band's coming to the States like next week or 2 weeks. They're playing, Johnny Pandora's playing in Pasadena.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to see them.
Super close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're awesome. We became like very, very fast friends. And
yeah.
I couldn't believe we got him to be in our video and star in it and be as cool as he was about it.
Yeah.
So down. He took the reins, found the whole camera crew, got Top Beat Club on lock for the day for us.
Damn.
Like, got his director. He's like, don't worry, I got everything. And he did. For an artist to be able to do that, like to be so like focused.
That's
and
power.
Yeah, that's power, man. So yeah, I'm super inspired by him and his band and by Tokyo in general.
Yeah. With this song, I mean, so far this year you've dropped 3 singles.
Yeah, this will be the third, yep.
Yeah, so it'll be the third. Is this part of maybe a body of work that you're considering working on, or are you trying to like feel out the singles because it's kind of changing the tone?
It does change a lot. We had 20 songs recorded. We actually went to like Ocean Way and places in Nashville, tracked drums to these, and we had it all done, and it was like it was an awesome record. And then the day that we wrote The Break, everything changed. Like we accidentally wrote that song.
Yeah.
Again, like Tokyo, we went into like cut these like rock songs, and can I tell a story about The Break really quick?
Let me know.
I walked in the studio and Joey just like puts his hand up. I'm like, I could just grab a guitar, and he was on a Zoom.
Yeah.
And he was just everything was coming at him that day. And so I went in the other room and just kind of like picked up the guitar and just wrote the break chorus, like melody and kind of some of the lyric and the guitar. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's like a pop song for somebody. I have no idea. And then I walked back in the room and it was like cold in there. And he had just been going through some stuff. Like they found out his dog might have cancer. Ooh. And he was like, that's his little baby. And he's just like kind of going through it. So he's just sitting back. And I pick up the guitar. I'm like, I got to break the ice or something. And I just started playing that just like to myself, the melody, she keeps me wide awake. And then he looks up, he's on his phone. He looks up through his glasses and he just goes, it's very good.
Shit.
Keep playing it. and yeah, so I kept playing it. And then he's like, starts throwing out some lines. And I'm like, that was the first song we wrote together.
Damn.
Like, he was producing songs I had written in LA.
Yeah.
That was the first time it's like, oh, we have this new like busted Elton John, Bernie Taupin relationship. Come on, man, let's go. So yeah, he's amazing with lyric too. So so that song started it. And now all those songs that are sitting there, we might take 1 or 2 of them, but we kind of restarted over.
Yeah. And
we have like 6 or 7 in that vein for an album. So we're getting close on that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, what are the plans for another tour for you?
Well, we just had a tour. We were going to go to a UK band, Kid Capici, was going to come here, and we were going to tour, and that just fell through. Like they had to cancel the tour. So we're doing a bunch of radio stuff, and we're doing our first headline shows ever, Milwaukee and St. Louis.
Okay. Where's the LA one?
The LA, we got to get that. We got to get on that. I just had someone reach out to like, dude, you've been a band for almost 4 years, and you haven't played LA.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
What's wrong with you?
I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, we got to get that going.
Yeah.
So
Dope, man. Well, I'm excited to finally.
You got a good backyard? Should we do that?
Not yet. I'm in an apartment, so
All right,
unfortunately,
not your apartment. We'll find a good backyard.
We'll find something. Yeah, but thank you for hanging out with me. I'm glad that we finally did this. Like I said, 2020, when that song dropped, it like changed everything because I was like, this guy sounds like he's been in this forever. Like he doesn't sound like a new artist. But now that you mentioned Empires, I was like, I think I might have worked with you guys as well too.
This when I heard, yes, I feel like this has happened before. I had deja vu when I walked in the room.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's just because. I don't know if that's just crazy life, but it's been Empires was a band for like 10 years, and then I was a songwriter for like 5 years, thinking that was it, and then hit, and I'm like, man, I got some stuff to unleash. I got to sing something. Yeah. So I saw those movies. Next day, wrote that song on the edge of a bed and took it to a friend to finish it up, and I'm like, yo, I got a song, and Big Loud's like, yeah, you got a project, man, let's go. So,
damn. Now to close us off with the process of whether it was the writing or the recording process of Tokyo Rose, what did you learn about yourself or your voice or your vocal ranges that you didn't know about prior?
Man, I learned that if I lay back, and it's so crazy. I think screaming kind of sometimes it's born out of an insecurity when you kind of start doing. Or for me, when I started doing it, was just born like I guess I didn't like the sound of my voice when I wasn't messing it up.
Yeah.
I learned that like laying back and like even if you feel like it's just like getting out of my own head and just laying back and singing like quiet, like the verses in the break are so quiet for me. I kept imagining like it's my like Billie Eilish moment. Like I thought it was whispering, and then he's like, "That's great," and I'm like, because I was singing them differently for like a day. He's like, "No, you found it," and I stepped out and I listened. I'm like, "Oh, don't try as hard," and it's like, "Don't try." Like that's like the thing. I'm like, I'm gonna try less.
Yeah.
He would hate me for saying that, but tonally wise, like getting out of your own way and just kind of letting your voice be your voice. Is really hard to do. It's freaky, but the results better, I think. I hope.
Well, I'm excited to hear what else you got going on.
Yeah, man.
So thanks so much for hanging out with me. You guys be sure to check out Blame My Youth. New single Tokyo Rose is out now. Check out the music video, and thanks for watching on From Real Live.